Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Michigan Severe Weather Breakdown. The date today is June 17th, 2025, and this is issued for this upcoming Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. As you can see, most of Michigan is under a slight and marginal risk, with the UP excluded there, although they will probably get some thunderstorms. But there is an enhanced risk on the south side of Michigan. Mostly, pretty low hail threat overall. Definitely, there's always an opportunity for some small hail, but we'll see about that. And then wind is our biggest threat, and I'll show you why in a moment, especially on that southern side, mostly along and south of the I-96 border. And then we actually have a pretty large tornado threat here, not in terms of percentage, but like land coverage. A 2 to 5% extends pretty much most of the lower peninsula, and then even a 5 to 10% expands all the way up to north of Grand Rapids. Let's take a look at the models here. This is for Tuesday. As you can see, we got some thunderstorms in the thumb as we go into early morning Wednesday / late night Tuesday. Now, very early morning, 5 a.m.-ish, right along here we get some showers. Obviously nothing severe here. Widespread pop-ups here and there. Early morning, this is around, 8 a.m. And a couple of thunderstorms, maybe some lightning could be a threat there, but very unlikely to be severe. I wouldn't have to watch out for that. But here, as we get into 1 p.m. on Wednesday, starting into the afternoon, we're getting some of these possibly strong to severe thunderstorms forming around mid-Michigan area, lower peninsula. Definitely a chance for some hail, maybe some winds. Cloud to ground lightning could also be a possibility, especially because there is some instability and updrafts rising through the air around this time. But these will continue going along east. I will keep an eye on these. This is where we start having some problems. Down in Illinois is where it all begins. And even down here just south of Kent, Ionia County, some storms are going to be popping up. And this quickly becomes a line of definitely severe possible thunderstorms. You can see some updraft helicity is possible, especially down here. I would say tornado threat is possible along here, maybe some hail. These could organize into some strong storms, but we will be keeping a close eye on this. This is 6 p.m. here, and look at this bow right here, this bow echo. This is going to be our severe wind threat, severe hail. Definitely watch out for this. I would say enhanced risk makes sense, but honestly, I'd say a 30% significant wind risk should be in place. I bet you they'll do that at some point, but I just think that this has got some serious structure to it. I mean, now also in our last severe weather event that I covered, we had a formation similar to this, and right here at the tip of the bow echo, most tornadoes that happen with storms like these that are not just quick QLCS spin up tornadoes happen in this section right here. So along this quarter, as this goes through and probably breaks up a little bit, keep an eye out for that. But it'll probably be at its peak intensity down here. That's why that enhanced risk doesn't go too far. I'd say right as it gets into Lansing, Detroit area, or past Lansing, it will start to weaken. But definitely still a tornado threat up here in some of these storms, and wind and hail threat down there. But I would say from 5 to 6 p.m., this section of Michigan should watch out for some severe wind and possibly a couple weak tornadoes. And this section right here of Michigan should watch out for some hail, some wind, but more likely if you're going to have something actually damaging, it would be a tornado, maybe a quick spin up. There isn't a terribly high risk of tornadoes, but I definitely see the opportunity for some here. Now we're going to take a quick look at the storm relative helicity, 0 to 3 kilometers. You can see it is definitely present. I mean, this, I will keep a close eye on that, because look at that. That is some seriously high storm relative helicity for those storms that will be popping up in this big line that we showed earlier above the QLCS formation here. Those could have some tornadoes in them. Obviously, the whole area is impacted by some definitely strong enough storm relative helicity, but remember how I was talking about that possible tornado up in the top of the bow echo here? The storm relative helicity does support that, so along this corridor here, I would keep an eye on that for a possible tornado, just like we had last event. Most unstable Cape is good enough for severe thunderstorm production, but because it's not that high, I would be a little more cautious on saying there is a tornado threat here. I would say definitely some spin ups are possible, but because this is a pretty low amount of instability, especially in front of the storm, the QLCS, it is more rare for a tornado to form with these kind of conditions. But it's definitely not impossible. 1 to 2,000 Cape is always enough for some spin up action, but maybe not any long lived destructive tornadoes. Shear is definitely supportive for some strong storms here because remember that line above the big bow echo. It's definitely got some strong, 45 to 50 knot wind shear here. That is very supportive for some well formed storms, and as the bow echo goes through, there is just enough for it to get some power going. It's not a huge amount though. I would say the storms up above the bow echo have a larger chance for some organization, some good organization. But overall, I mean, if you see the structure of that bow echo, it is definitely strong. There's no doubt that it's going to be powerful, but maybe just not, record breakingly. Okay, I literally just got a brand new run of the RFSAs, the model I'm currently using. This is, 6 p.m.? Sorry, this is 4 p.m., and you can already see some severe thunderstorms producing on the front of this big formation here. And some storms over here could be possibly severe, a little less likely. But look at this nice line here. Definitely south of I-96 as it comes through in its strongest form, but it will overtake that area. It has some good structure to it, but let's check out the composite reflectivity real quick. It's all pretty consistent with each other. It's actually looking a little less organized on this run. So maybe less of a chance that it becomes a significant 30% wind threat, but that still is a good line of severe thunderstorms. I say good as a storm chaser, but it has some opportunity to cause some damage, which is not good, obviously. And in front of it, let's take a sounding here. There's no cap in place. There's decent low level Cape. There's definitely some low level storm relativity in place here and some weird shear. So I would say it's got some support for a spin up, some support for a strong storm overall, but I can't say it's going to be a crazy severe weather event just from this model run. Of course, things change quite a lot. I'm expecting for it to expand more. We'll see what the Storm Prediction Center says. I mean, they've got enhanced risk, so I trust them, of course. But the Grand Rapids National Weather Service says thunderstorms will be possible Wednesday through Wednesday evening. Storms early in the day are not expected to be severe, which we saw earlier. More widespread storms will develop late Wednesday afternoon and move through Wednesday evening. These storms are likely to become severe, especially along and south of I-96. The threat most likely will be damaging winds, large hail will be possible, and an isolated tornado or two will also be possible. They do want spotter activation. I agree with them. Slight chance for tornadoes, decent chance for some strong wind. I'll keep watching the models, but for now, I would just go off and say you could lose your power maybe, could get some hail, might want to bring the cars in the garage, but keep an eye out for tornado warnings as the night goes on. That's it for the severe weather breakdown. I might make another one tomorrow if I have the time, but I probably will try to get in front of this thing, so I might be busy with that. Just keep an eye on severe weather alerts and watch the news as the storm comes in if you care enough.